Probably think it was a great one.
Dave, what was wrong?
I was sick. I actually wanted to put me in, and they said the storm's coming, so they, sent me home to Earth. But I diagnosed pneumonia in one of my lungs, shut down, and ever since then, whenever I've gotten really, really sick before a big event, it's always turned out to be a pretty serious event. So whenever I get like really sick with bronchitis, everyone on the board goes, "Yes, DT's sick."
Have you seen a psychologist about it? All right. Okay, now, as penance, I have to discuss the winter of 2000-2001, which was my most physically overbearing year. I had to work all these terrible hours, but there was a lot that was going on, and a lot of horrible failures. Marred by the storm of December 30th, which I can look as a success because I didn't have to focus on DC or Boston. Let's look at New York. Gee, they're the ones that are snowed. Why didn't it? I don't have to answer that. Coldest November and December on record nationwide. And these were the three storms. And I thought in the new book, we don't talk much about the February 5th and 6th storm. And if anybody's from outside of Philadelphia, outside of New York, Connecticut, interior Massachusetts, New Hampshire, this was actually turned out to be a great storm. And yes, as much as this was a pain in the for many areas, this turned out to be a very big storm for interior New York and New England.
It's kind of a little bit there, that winter was a little bit like the three big storms, almost like 60, 61 or something.
Right, that's why I actually thought it's a B plus A minus. There was a lot of action.
That storm, the 2001 had been the media bust. That would probably.
But right, it would have been a great winter.
So you make the argument that with the warming that has happened in the 40 years from 1960-61 to that winter, then conceivably those three storms would have been big snows on the coastal cities, and maybe because it was close. All three were very close.
But of course, you could argue without the warming, things would have organized differently anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know.
No. And that's always a good thing.
But, it was an almost La Nina type of hangover because it was coming out of a strong La Nina, even though it was a neutral winter, right?
But I don't remember. But I know if it's actually something that's neutral, I like neutral. Because usually strong La Nina, strong El Nino.
And it just seemed like the winters have personality, and that personality was in that winter.
Repetition.
Was the east wind was killing a few miles of the coast. Everybody else then was getting extreme.
But I think if I remember, you did okay. Not great.
Our final average was exceeded by about 5 or 10%, but
right.
every storm was tainted, yes.
Right. See, well, that's what. Well, no. Now that I think about it, I guess downtown Boston was kind of a ripoff. All right, B plus. Things I do. And this was the character of the winter. Again, statewide ranks. It's a really cold December. We're looking at 100 and some odd years, and much of the eastern half of the U.S. is in the top 10. And this is after a great November, which really sucked when I was on the air all the time. It was a pain. Every damn storm was a snowstorm somewhere. But then January warmed up to normal. February was actually quite mild, despite the big storm early in the month. Then February, which was a big negative NAO month, much of the east again was cold. So it's too bad about March 4th and 6th. It could have been a contender. When it was somewhere. So just to refresh your memory, December 30th was actually a fun little tiny development. The models here, the evening before the storm, there weren't even radar echoes except for a little tiny bit off of the North Carolina coastline. And by morning, waking up just to see the blossoming area of heavy snowfall, it was great, from basically Philly east and then up through northern New Jersey. And I really do apologize up there. I know it was bad. Sorry, Jerry.
Everyone see the snow gradient there? Yeah, how packed that snow gradient is?
Oh, right in here.
Yeah.
Oh, western suburbs of Philly had nothing, while the east had
You can also see your
foot of
block,
snow.
over your blockage, you see what's built to the west, over
What-
Route Quebec? And
Wait.
that little low in the upper right corner, that's your 50/50 low pulling out. I mean, it was,
This actually is what we want to see. It's just unfortunately details. You know, for one time, actually, DC looked like we were going to get clogged. Oops, it didn't. So here's 7 a.m. on the morning of December 30th. There's a lot of stuff on this map. Total snowfall is indicated by, I think, all these different colors. No, not by the numbers. I think this is probably some radar reflectivity. And the difference in the forecast here was that, here's the difference. Yeah, I hear somebody. Some of the forecasts, and I think it was within 24 hours of the event, had the precip all the way backing in west of Baltimore, west of DC. And instead, the actual storm track was out in here, and that western edge was right about over here.
and that, what's unusual about that, Paul, is that the reason why that snow map should have been dealt with skepticism, because no beads don't drop over into liquid and wall snow in the Washington DC area. It should have been a warning alert that something was wrong with that precip map.
It is very hard for the secondary low.
Right.
They have to go so far to it's rare. You know, February 78 backed in, made it to Baltimore, made it to Annapolis, made it into the eastern side of DC. It's rare for a secondary to really hit the area hard. So living in New England, you should be a happy bunch. Thank you, lucky stars. And this is one I'm actually going to put together in much more detail than I had, so it's going to make the next book. And it was actually a surprisingly wonderful event. I'm sure at the time I did not expect as much snow that fell from the system that did. But again, the magic of being on the air every half an hour. Once the heavy precip started showing up west of Philadelphia, then it was like, okay, let's follow it up. And this was a case, you know, it wasn't a fabulous synoptic setting beforehand. It was a little weak 10, 12, I think, low off the North Carolina coast. And in just one 12-hour period, it actually bombed out to about a 990. So that's a pretty good rate of deepening. And the snowfall certainly was commensurate with that. And yes, I was busy. But I'm not going to spend much time on this one.
Thank you.
But as you can
Yeah, you can spend all the time you want. Next.
wait. What's the mumble grumbling here? All right, I'll change. Well, there was a lot of snow some places. Some of you were probably like, what's wrong with this? We'll forget it. Oh, and then to top things off, you know, the next winter, you know, look at this, December to February, warmest on record for these states. You know, I remember forecasting here, waiting for some cold air to develop in northern Canada to be like some 522 thicknesses, like, give me a break. So this was really awful. They couldn't find
What
that
actually
color.
made matters really difficult that winter was the almost universal approach of the long-range forecasts that were coming up almost through September. Everybody was predicting a killer winter.
And it was.